Hello everyone! In this video we are going to consider combinatorial testing approach for filling out a registration input form. Main idea to verify will be if in some complex system that analyzes or performs tracking every character input and it tries to suggest correct one character for every user's key pressed from keyboard, our test code will try to provoke object under test to fail, or probe being stress sustainable for constant user's input re-enter. For this moment, given demo site, registration form is quite simple and used only to demonstrate the main idea and capabilities for future projection. How many ways do you know that user may try to fill each or few input fields? Hard to say. What number, right? So I would say the same. But I think this issue solved by combinatorial approach. You also may wonder, so user also could perform random intermediate actions while filling the form. And for such situations, we use step in Excel input combi-file called optional. Please note that optional action is really close to random action, actually with the difference that first one is 99% guaranteed to be verified through in composition with other obligatory actions, while second is half chance, like coin toss. So, let's suppose initially for executor's test code, Python here, against main program target logic, as combined outcome of combi framework, each input field is represented by single key character, like F for first name, L for last name, and so on. This each single and till full sequence input supposed to be as obligatory. Any other action supposed to be suddenly optional, random like focus distraction to another functionality or timed waiting for getting info on user's own side, of own independent from system under test sources. Also, user has full right to do this as its own freedom choice, not placing him into cage of strict digit input. The same as its freedom while free will of phone number interpretation of additional punctuation marks while filling corresponding phone number field in between the digits. You know that some advertising numbers could be consisted of letters and masked words. Here I have written some Python code that generates input text data according to regular expression rules. First char is important everywhere since it shows first reaction of object under test. If there are some watch trackers triggered for user interaction and suggestion mechanism. Also special character adoption into generated string provided in equal indented way and their positioning shift. Boundary values for special characters provocation also included. Since, as far as I know, every machine use single instance of clipboard copy-paste buffer in multi-threaded environment, this code uses class itself in core logic and not its instantiated objects. Remember, every combination sequence could be consisted of expected and unexpected actions, so we can manage pass-fail test logic of their expected and not execution results using variable flags, triggering in corresponding blocks. As many incoming input data and or sudden action code logic parts you want to feed into Combi framework, therefore, so many multiplied outgoing reactions of your target testing you will get. Nowadays, distributed computation power should be enough for reasonable amount of multiple total combination situations. Complexity of each IT services rises, and quality verification part before delivering to customer, volume of tests that still don't cover all cases and required fixes expands. Proper defect detection and coverage of all possible situations developed by Combinatorics Framework allows you to handle it. It doesn't matter what data or code to feed into it and mix. Test engineers could ask a question about classic positive and negative scenarios, where I say that all basic testing for single situations already existed before. All of these and more classic are covered by good old unit, smoke, critical path, quick spot on momentum focused and ad hoc testings. Talking about pairwise paired data, okay. Does it combine sudden action code with the data? But none of the existed approaches don't cover as much as possible combined situations, each data and sudden action code, mutual interoperability and affection. Some combined situations could be that black swan like or butterfly effect like, things that affect partial proper functionality of being verified system or total crash. This framework expands your use case vision and coverage capabilities. Just have enough computation power for your test cases, fantasy, and experience by looking beyond classic testing approaches. Use cases of volume performance generation also may be considered. Possible exploit and vulnerability finder also is an option. And finally, resume of written Python code by myself. Look, of course my code is far from perfect, but according to Combinatorics Framework motto dedication. Imperfectly written implementation to make every interacted code being under test code to be the perfect one. Just try to pass all possible combinations that QA engineer could imagine, type in, generate and run against your qualified target code. Particularly given case, as an example shown in this video, you are free to modify Python code for your own vision, where occasional actions could happen and their taken places need to be verified. See you next time.